Okay, so if you give the right assessment of a credit, then you can manage our credit. And when you accumulate a lot of it, we'll come by and we'll take a tax. And the tax is for all of the reasons that you would attribute for a tax and some bad, right? So there's some good and then there's some bad things that happens or goes on with tax money, but um, we probably believe we're agreeing to something, and turns out this actually far worser. Then they will never let you see too many images of uh, like a corporate warrior, the after the what do you call it? The work, they don't let you see the work, what the work looks like, or the yield of it, the result of it, right? Product, whatever. Um, Now, when we're buying credit, uh, to as a form of liquidity, I think there's equity, liquidity. Okay, I think I have to focus a little bit on what some other forms of equity, because that's interesting. But when you accumulate a lot of it, then you pay a tax. Uh, we have evaluated credit to mean something that is good, that you can, in a market cycle, you can come back around and you can top yourself off in areas and bolster positions with it, except that it's derived from something backed in something that we're not allowed to look at. So there's the compromise, right? The compromise is that if we're not allowed to at least look at the gold in Fort Knox, then how do you ascertain that we're managing credit, right? How do you ascertain that as credit, right? That you can own any of that gold that they're holding in the coffer, for the as kind of like it's proactive. You're supposed to have these because you might need to pay militia or build technologies with it. But the part about paying a tax is now, for you to assess that as credit, you're taking some of the karma for the things that we do with tax money that is outside of your knowledge, that's worser than what you think you agree to. And when you pay the taxes, now you're sharing the burden for the same. It's this, some of it's for purposes that we think is good, some of it is bad, right? And we're sharing the burden with our and it's a system. You can't demonize anybody in these systems. They dismiss logic from people within other systems. If you operate within a different system, I don't deny your function, that you can maintain with the function. I'm just saying that your logic does not equate to anything substantive from my standpoint. I'm dismissing it. But so basically, I can say that there's a host, a demiurge host entity that's being fed, an old one, right? Being kept alive, that at one point in time went off to sleep and left a leverage position, running like a leverage position, and we're suffering for the returns, and we our physical and experience uh, mortality and um, loss and mortality, and our assessment of those of losses. You know, it's like, so for your assessment of a loss, then you liquidate the shorts. So the architect of this um, actually municipal social, like, modalis, whatever. He went to sleep, and when he wakes up, he's gonna find um, his shorts have been liquidated. Does that make sense? Because for the purpose of raising the consciousness of matter, like, it was never a within a parameters of a contract with, or a covenant with God, for you to be poor, or for you to be um, denied something you need, or molested, or like all the terrible things that for anybody